Capricorn, hello and welcome to your weekly reading for September 22nd through to September 28th. Let's dive right in. So we have Pluto rocking the boat in your house of self, or in your house of outer world appearance, the character that you chose to play in this life. Let us learn from Augustus, Julius Caesar's nephew, who was heir to the throne in Rome. Play a role that you want to play this week, Capricorn. Whether or not you consider it play, it will be so much more fun if you do. And it might require that you guys work in a way that is different from how you previously defined discipline. So far we have the Page of Fire with the Justice card. So this is telling me that you have taken time to set aside an important process. I almost have to check that I'm not doing double work, because that's what it feels like for you guys. Maybe you guys are doing double work, and you have to make sure that you are not doing double work, because that's going to drain you and deplete you and make you less confident in yourself. So the Page of Fire, or else this is like a deja vu experience, is coming through saying, yeah, I know how to work my magic on myself. I'm the only person I need to work my magic on. I don't need to impress anybody else. I am playing a role to amuse myself. And I feel like that is the new age Capricorn. That is the leveling up Capricorn. The Capricorn that's not afraid to be themselves, to be fully present with themselves. And this will lead to justice. Archangel Raguel. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up in your beliefs. In your magic, in your energy. Not what someone else has made you out to be. So you can write your own script. You could be your own character. You could be your own apple of your eye, and set aside time to get to know who this person is. Who is this character that you want to be? We have the Two of Water, so this is coming up for everybody. You might be getting close to a Cancer. You might be getting close to someone who is giving you this really hot energy, because Mars is in Cancer, Capricorn. And whether or not that person is a woman or a man, they are starting something new, or you are, either one of you. Archangel Metatron is here to make sure that you are in the wrinkle of time, just there in the blink of an eye, playing a part, but also having fun and being true to yourself and being self-witnessing, being willing to be present with yourself enough to know when you are shucking and jiving, as my grandpa said, or when you're really into what you're doing. And I would say that any falsehoods will just kind of like fizzle out. They won't be that entertaining. They won't be that fun. They'll feel very dense. You will feel contracted. But when you're playing a part, and when you are dedicated to that role, you will come to find truer parts of yourself than ever. Queen of Water and the Hermit came out together. So this could be you. This could be you and your beloved. You guys could be balancing each other out with this depth of emotion and this sense of security in the relationship, because you know that when you share something with them, it's not going to be on, social media the next day where you're like on someone's stories and they spoke about you, even if it's in another language. That's not right. I don't think that that's right at all, to let that dangle and let that be out there, because it's a leak of energy. It's an energetic leak, and we want to make sure that we are not investing our time and energy and love with people who leak energy from our time together. But people will get back what they sow. They shall reap. We have Stormy. I love Stormy because it does speak to more emotion than ever. So in this deck, I will say not every deck that I work with is in alignment with my intentions for my reading. So what I perceive Stormy to be is one of the richest times, when you feel like you can light a candle and let it burn down, and you just have maybe a meal, or you have a journaling process to where you don't want to stop writing, because you're really freeing a part of your soul that you haven't let out very much. So for me, this morning I lit a candle and I started doing my morning pages, but I decided that rather than write as normal, I was going to write in a poetic form. So not like Shakespearean, but for my own. I wasn't counting like the consonants or the syllables or whatever. I was just writing, but with a specific style. So you guys might come to find that that works for you when you do your morning pages, and not just, A, B, C happened today. I feel like doing this later. This is my to-do list. Done journaling. No, get into the story. Get into a narrative. Try scripting. A Capricorn. And I sense that because there is this energy of a building opposition between Mars and Pluto, It comes to be exact some point in October, so we have a couple weeks to really feel into the foundation of what's making this energy stormy. We have the Hunter. The Hunter and Stormy. Let's see what the Hunter has to say. And also, your ruling planet is in retrograde motion in your 3rd house. So I feel that this would be a time where your thought processes do need to reflect a lot of introspection. It'll be the best case scenario of using the energy of a storm, of change, of, ending up somewhere different than you started, if you're willing to get still with yourself and some way of maybe like cooking could be it, but it's not documenting the process. Unless you start vlogging, which in that case, that is documenting the process. You're having to do something more than just an immediate action that has an immediate result. We want to have something that's a little bit more far-reaching for this week. Okay, the Hunter, the Seeker, the Pursuer, the Predator. And there's a sailor's kind of like anchor here, across with the arrow. The Hunter hunts. They are on a precise mission with an aim. To return home empty-handed would be to fail, which is not an option in the Hunter's eye. The archetype will journey far and wide, seeking the prize that calls to its heart or stomach. That's so funny, I said meal. Tales of bravery and feats of strength often result in creating a life full of adventure. The Hunter is skillful, quick, decisive, and results-oriented. Like the great hunting goddess Artemis, who carries her quiver upon her back, and in Red Moon, she's spoken to of as the virgin, not in a modern sense, but in a traditional sense, to where she belonged to and of herself. She spoke for herself. She filled her cup. Even if she was in an intimate union, she was still a virgin because she knew who she was and she wasn't going to lose herself in that. We can create a character that allows for us to not get lost. It allows for us to, I heard about this from an actor. I forget who did it. Maybe a lot of them do, the successful ones at least. They allow for part of them to not exist in that character so that all of them could go into that character. And they pull part of themselves back with like an evening routine to where their acting character doesn't do that. And maybe they keep it secret from the director. Maybe it changes. And maybe that's up for you this week to say, if I'm going to do this challenging task, who do I need to be to myself? And you create a character from that. You do the scripting. You write about them. And without losing your sense of reality, without getting too far out there, we want to have far-reaching benefits of taking on this persona. If not a character, a role that you play. And that could be anywhere from a new job, a new opportunity to express yourself. Maybe you decide to go to like acting school. Literally, you put this into a literal use and you decide to take an acting class or a directing class or a stage class. Something that will allow for you to get into this creative world making. Tales of bravery and feats of strength often result from the Hunter, creating a life full of adventure. The Hunter is skillful, quick, decisive, and results-oriented. Like the great hunting goddess Artemis, who carries a quiver upon her back, there we are, the Hunter typically has a weapon of choice. When this card appears, it's a critical thing that you ask 3 questions. What am I hunting? Why am I hunting it? Is the weapon I hold so tightly in my grip truly needed for the task at hand? Okay. And now one goddess card. And let's see. This week, over the course of the week, Venus moves into Scorpio. So she's at 29 degrees on the equinox, and that means that she's in your 11th house. So you guys might come to find that maybe you meet a long-awaited romantic encounter, something that you've been having on your heart for a very long time because of this energy that is in Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. And this water trine would be bringing to the surface a lot of emotions, especially because we just had an Earth trine station to change the note, the way that we see, even the color spectrum that we're using to create with, my Capricorns. So let's see, what do we have from the Dolly deck? We'll work with these cards. Okay, for Justice, we have the Fool. You guys have the Fool card twice with Scorpio, so you might be with a Scorpio this week. There might be some Scorpio that comes across your energy. And look, we have Libra coming through. So they could have a Libra moon. You could have a Libra moon. You could be a Scorpio with a Capricorn rising. But these energies are coming forth to say that you must weigh your heart against a feather. I've been saying this for a while. Stop weighing your heart against another heart. Black Moon Lilith moving through the sign of Libra. By the end of the week, Black Moon Lilith will have reached 10 degrees. So it's up to us, Capricorn, because you have Libra in your 10th house, to ensure that you are doing your due diligence and knowing who you are and making sure that that is your unit of measure, that people know who they are when they come to you. Even if they're playing a role, you get to know the real them outside of the work, outside of the mask, and you don't entertain anything less than excellence from people. I read something somewhere that said, like, you deserve so much better than the guys who are like, I can't hold space for you in a relationship, I can't be your boyfriend, but let's fall in love, let's be intimate, let's have all of these qualities that are sort of like our worst case scenario, but we take it on thinking that we can handle it when really we can't. We can't bear another heartbreak, Capricorn. And Pluto in Capricorn is going to make sure that in the highest reaches, the most far-reaching opportunities, you don't allow for people to break your heart anymore. That you are strong and you are honest to yourself, even if you have to play a role to be honest to yourself and to make sure that you don't let your heart get broken. This 5 of Cups, with 2 cups still standing, there is a longing, there is a coming together, there is a merging, and we need to keep in mind, maybe with this 2 of water, like we've had, I think that that's even what to focus on. That's clearly what the angels want us to focus on, is this 2 of water, not the 3 that fell down, not the loneliness, the best friend who won't talk to us anymore because now they're like married or something, not our relationship with our parents, but this relationship that's emerging. Some of you guys might be meeting a very sacred partner this week. So we have the Hangman, which is giving Uranus. It's giving Uranus in Taurus. So at the end of the week, Uranus will have retrograded to 26 degrees Taurus. And for you all, that's your 5th house of romance. So I think you all are starting to see romance in a new way, this journey of merging hearts, of merging minds, merging bank accounts, of lifestyles in a new way. And maybe there are new rules involved. That means you don't merge your life. You don't merge your bank account. You just meet up once a week, you talk, you have some tea, and then you're off. And then you see them again for a few months until you know that you could trust them or something. You know, anything that would change the way that you do things is great, Capricorn. With the Hermit, we have the 6 of Wands. We also have the 6 of Coins, and we also have the King of Swords. So these 3 came out as the Hermit and the Queen of Water came out. So these are like multiple readings in one, Capricorn. You guys always know how to get more out of me. So it feels like if this is your energy and this is their energy, they're used to having people, or at least the thought that people want to take something from them. But you know that you've gone into the deepest, most depthful parts of yourself, and that's not you. So this boogeyman, when they come to ask for meaning out of life, is just their own phantom. So they need to be doing that work to deal with themselves. But together, I would say that you two might be coming into this sense of, okay, we have to work on how we deal with feedback from our friends, our family, our peers, on the thought of maybe keeping a relationship secret for a while. Is that going to work for us? Can I tell people about it? Is this giving me red flags? We have to make sure that everything can be run through that scale of our heart against a feather. And if something stands out, we need to take that time and space and create a character that would ask us all these questions and allow for all these questions to be asked. I can't speak more highly of that. I did that with my husband, and we are good because we made sure, oh gosh, this thing is reflecting. Okay, I have a black journal. So we made sure that we asked all the questions up front. So now that whenever we need to reach that depth of truth, it was already a foundation. So you have to have a foundation of truth that you can always return to in the case that, you know, people get emotional. We have all of this water coming to the surface, and you might be meeting someone new who has been through the mill. They have seen it all. They've done it all according to them, but they have new chapters to unravel with you. So you have to set standards. You have to set limits. You have to set parameters, just like any good experiment, Capricorn. I keep wanting to call you Cancer. So check and see where this person's Venus is. They could have their Venus in Cancer. They could be a Cancer sun sign. That would be a true polarization, but a true mastery level relationship. Any opposing energies are mastery required. So be sure that you're signing up for something that you actually want to live. Make sure that it's a role that you actually want to play. We'll get a goddess oracle card for the last of your reading, and I'm only taking one. Demeter, the nurturer, 11. So as we start the week, we are ending Virgo season. So there is this number of 11 that is a part of Sensei Christopher Witecki's step system of astrology. And we have to make sure that with Chiron retrograding a degree over the course of the week, that our wounds, with that being your 4th house, are no longer just like the source of our truthometer, that we have other ways of assessing the truth from ourselves, from other people, not measured just by our wounds. Demeter, the nurturer, empowerment message. Giving to others is a wonderful feeling. When you have a healthy sense of yourself, you want to share your love, your inspiration, and your experience, and the exchange feels clean. Your boundaries are fluid yet strong. The Greek goddess of grain, motherhood, and the harvest, Demeter, reminds you that a harvest is meant to be shared. You've now tapped into her nurturing love, which is abundant, and your well-meaning gestures will be received with gratitude and in some way returned to you tenfold. Now is the time to nourish yourself too, for giving must be balanced by receiving. Allow yourself to feel how the universe is like a wonderful nurturing mother that is always there when you need her. Keep in mind, this is not another person, it's the universe, it's God. It's the acts of your heart being met by maybe going out into nature and seeing how beautiful the flowers smell at this time of year, the autumn winds coming in, maybe an album, and having that timeless interaction, because focusing on what you can control will allow for what you're not expecting to come in. If you're expecting for someone to text you back and ask you out on a date because you took them out on a date and you paid for it, that's not even a relationship. That is just a list, a criteria. It's an outline. It's not what we're going for this time, Capricorn. And that is what has broken your heart, is this outline. You've had an agenda. We need to drop the agendas and be present. Be present with what is and with yourself first and foremost. Demeter says to trust that you are loved and cared for all day, every day, and for all time, especially now. Capricorn, have an amazing week. For those of my Capricorns checking this out for the first time, welcome. Go on ahead and watch your moon and your rising video if you're a Capricorn sun. If you're a Capricorn sun, you know the deal. Watch the rest. And to my subscribers, thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me that you're here. Go on ahead and drop me a comment. Let me know how this energy is going for you. I would love to know. I'd love to hear your feedback. Until next time, aloha.